What's going on, guys? This is JT here, back with some more Diablo Immortal. We have the man himself. It is Naecabon, an absolute beast on the Prime Evil server. He is going to go over all sorts of things on his Necromancer. So honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and give him the floor now. What is up, my man?
What's going on, man? Here to rep the current undead bros here. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the Necro class. A lot of people ask me if I'm going to stick with it when they open up character transfers. I think I am going to stick with it.
Oh, wow, okay.
I really enjoy it. I think we have a lot of viable skills and a lot of ways to play the game. I get asked a lot. So first I'll go over a couple builds and talk about what I do differently, because people that inspect me are going to notice that I go through a lot of different gear pieces and specs throughout the day, depending on what content I'm doing. But most of it boils down to these three specs. BGs definitely have their own loadout. Dungeons and CR pushing are a little different. So my dungeon spec is kind of my go-to bread and butter spec. This is the spec I use for almost all content. I use this for doing dungeon farming. I use this for bounties. I use this for just open world farming in general. It's just your catch-all. Yeah, and one of the things you'll notice is I've got three pieces here that are focused on the golem. So when it comes to pets, the golem is easily our best pet. I mean, this guy's an absolute house. Okay. He's probably the only pet that's borderline viable in PvP if you feel like using him. Some of the other pets, their health is a little low. He's cool because you can use this ability here and command him where to go. Yeah. This thing does absolute beast damage. If you check his skills, you can see. If you compare the coefficient to what some of these skills do, like for example, my bone spear does 9,900, which is going to be a lot. Obviously, yes, I am very geared. My gems are very high. So this number is going to be higher than normal. But if you compare that to like the golem smash, I mean, his smash deals 12,400. I mean, it's no joke. It's having that on a stick as an AoE. and then he also burns things in place. He does an active tick for 1,700 a second, in addition to just casually swinging. I mean, he'll attack on his own all the time. So for PvE content, I usually jam the helmet that keeps him up for longer.
One quick question. On that Google tick that you just said, does that in BGs, does that stay on people to affect bandage timing? Or how long does
it does. So yes, he will stay. So it's a double-edged blade, because he will stay on people and mess with people if they're trying to bandage, but it can also mess with you if you're trying to bandage, because if he stays in combat, you're in combat.
Yeah.
So it's kind of goes both ways, and he's kind of a nuisance. So I was using him for a while in PvP. So here's the thing, right? The BG build that I'm back to using right now is very much the bread and butter build. This is the one that you're going to see on Max Roll. This is the one you're going to talk about. Now, I've tried a lot of different builds, and I tried a lot of different things, and unfortunately, it really does all just come back to this build at the end of the day. One of the things that I love, I'll show you this. My favorite bone armor skill is the orbitals. So a lot of people are sleeping on this one. This, to me, in a vacuum, depending on the matchup, is the best bone armor version, and here's why. I think this legendary piece right here, Grave Dirt's Weight, this is probably one of the best legendaries in the game for any class. It basically says anytime our bone armor is active, we're completely immune to all effects which knock back or move us around. Oh, wow. The reason this is huge in PvP is this is why Necros are immune to Black Hole. This is why we're immune to your Whirlwind Grab. We're immune to Bone Pillar. We're immune to the knockback from the wolves from Demon Hunters. Ridiculous. Immune to the Monk knockback. We're literally immune to every single form of that while this is active. Now, you can have your normal bone armor, but the problem is normally it gives you a little bit of an absorb shield, and then as soon as you take damage, it breaks and you're immune again. What's cool about the orbitals is this isn't an absorb shield, so when I cast this, I pretty much have this for the full duration, and I don't have to worry about how much damage I'm taking.
Dude, that's a great tip, dude. That's big for them Necros out there, bro.
But here's the problem. When you're playing in BGs, and the reason I've had to switch it back is because when you're playing against other Necros and they cast Bone Pillar, this actually blocks projectiles. So what I've been noticing is when I use my orbitals, if other Necros are casting Bone Pillar and the orbitals run into the Bone Pillar, it eats them up. Wow. And all of a sudden I don't have my orbitals anymore. Yeah. So it's like a weird game of it's like a weird game of rock, paper, scissors. Like
if mid battleground is what that sounds like.
Yeah, if there was like a duel competition and I was playing certain classes, I would use the orbitals 100% of the time. But in BGs, because other Necros are using this Bone Pillar, you kind of can't use it. It sucks because it gets eaten.
Yeah.
But in PV, but when we go back to PVE, well, I gotta wait for this to get off cooldown. There we go. But the thing about this is in PVE, when it comes to me doing dungeons, I use this all the time because this thing is an incredible damage source. If you look at the damage this thing does, it is doing every single one of those orbitals is doing 7k damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So when you figure how long this is going, let's say this guy right here is my target and I cast this. Every single time that chinks through him, that's doing 7k damage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost the same damage as my primary. And it's just this passive damage on like a boss or whatever. It's really, really strong.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. That's beast mode. Plus, it's not getting taken away.
Yeah, and the other reason I can't use it in PvE is unfortunately, if you're going to use Bone Pillar, it takes up the chest slot, which means you have to sacrifice this to use the Bone Pillar in PvE. So you're forced between choosing one or the other. But in PvE, this is no contest. Not only does it do really good damage single target, but it pierces, as I'll show you in a CR. It hits entire groups. Because when it comes to CRs, it's just all about AoE damage.
So
I mean, anybody who does it.
It's not maximized. So if you have a group of 10 around, it's going to hit all 10?
Yes, yeah, it'll pierce everything. It just keeps piercing. Now, another thing is when it comes to the set of me, this also all plays into my set. So the big revelation here for gearing, if Necros are sleeping on this, I want to show you is is this the best build for this? Yeah, this is a good build. So the set, I personally find this Verthuzurgis to be the best Necro set. This is one people are kind of sleeping on, I think. And I'm going to give you a tip right now because I know people are already talking about it. And I want to talk about this right here. Increases the duration of all beneficial effects by 30%. I personally think this effect, I've been getting it on my gear. This gear is kind of old. I'll show you. Hold on. Let me show you my better gear. So my sleeper gear that I've been saving up here is in my bank. I'm almost 80 and then I'll be able to switch this. So some of the gear that I've been sleeping on is stuff like the beneficial effect duration right here.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get this on as many pieces as I can get it. I have it on my pants. I have it on my new chest. I need to roll it on my new boots. I think this is a sleeper stat. I think that this stat is going to be a stat that when people realize how good this is, everyone should be gearing for it.
Especially as a Necro with your abilities right there.
Everyone. It's not just Necros. Here's why. The beneficial effects, this stat, what it increases is basically anything that pops up under your name here. Okay? So it's not just your skills. If I proc this, my Bottled Hope is actually increased past the 6-second window up to like 9 to 10 seconds. It affects everything. It affects your Blessing of the Worthy. This thing, when it procs, it says decreasing all damage you take by 6 seconds. This 6-second window is also increased by beneficial effects. It increases your shrine duration in challenge rifts.
Really?
Yes. So if you get this up to like 50%, you're getting your challenge rift shrines for 50% longer in challenge rift. That's insane. It increases, and here's another interesting thing. It's actually multiplicative in groups. So if you notice this right here, it says increases the duration of all beneficial effects on you or your party members by 30%. So here's a fun fact. If I use this and I give you Bottled Hope, right? Because Bottled Hope is a group buff, and it's increased by 30%. If you then also have this 2-piece bonus, you then multiply it by another 30% because you're getting, because you're getting my beneficial effect from my 2-piece. So say 6% becomes 9% or whatever.
It's going to be massive for things like that.
It's so good
for fastest time on any of those bosses.
We were going to keep this as kind of a secret meta, but I've seen so many people already talking about it because you can inspect us and see us talking about it that I'm just getting ahead of it and explaining it to you guys now because everyone is going to be using it eventually. The only set that I think is on par with this is possibly Mountebanks, but the reason I like this more is for 2 reasons. First of all, like I said, there's so many. Your Undying Rage is affected by this. Yeah. So when you go into Undying Rage, you can have Undying Rage.
I have that 2-piece for Undying Rage.
Right. It's nuts.
I've never thought of it as a group to a group. That's nutty because I mean people could technically have a 20-second Bottled Hope prop.
Yeah, well, you'd have to get it pretty high. So the only other sources to get it right now, I created a spreadsheet. I sent you. I don't know if you've seen it, but right now the only pieces I can get it are belt, boots, chest, and pants. Those are the 4 pieces that can roll up to 6%.
So hear me out right quick. So let's say we're in a group of 4, right? And every player has Bottled Hope, and every player has this set. It stacks. So if it stacks on one, doesn't it keep stacking with each use or no?
So Bottled Hope actually overwrites each other's Bottled Hopes when it procs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can only actually benefit from one bottle proc at a time. And another interesting thing is you can get it if you check this vendor here. Actually, one of the reforged stones that I believe it's barrier stone. No, one of these stones has it on it as well. Is it this one? I don't even know which one. Maybe it's the Jolt stone.
Yeah.
But you can get it on this too. Right here.
There it is.
Duration of beneficial effects increase up to 3%. So you can get another 18% from that too.
Right.
So all total, it comes out to like 72% if you min-max it or whatever. So not quite 100, but it is still crazy. But here's the other cool thing about this set. So anytime I buff myself with a skill, it can be Bone Armor or it can be Spirit Walk. So here's my attack speed normally, right? This is me attacking. Every time I use one of my buffs with a 4-piece, this is my attack now. It's like a machine gun, and you can see the difference when it wears off. Here's another fun fact. The 4-piece bonus is actually affected by this beneficial direct effect duration. So it says it only lasts 3 seconds, but you're getting 30% out the gate, so this is actually 4 seconds. And then every time you add beneficial effect, this becomes stronger. And another reason I like this, it has no internal cooldown. Like Mountebanks, you can only get the shield every 9 seconds. For this set bonus, all the time. Literally anytime I cast Wraith Form, I can bust out of it and start machine gunning, or if I cast Bone Armor, I can start machine gunning.
Dude,
so
that is awesome, dude. I'm glad
I think this set is I think this set is really powerful. People are going to be sleeping on it. I noticed I kept getting DMs because people saw me wearing it and they were asking questions about it. So now you got and another thing, I'm not sold on the 6-piece yet. So the 6-piece is okay, but here's the thing about it, right? It lasts for 12 seconds out of 40, so you only have about a 1/3 uptime. The life drain sounds cool, but I hate that it's stationary because I'm not going to really need this in PvE. And if I'm in PvP and it drops on the ground in a stationary thing, you're moving around so much in PvP that the idea that I have to stay in like a designated spot is kind of annoying. So what I'm probably going to do is use 2-piece war rags for the 15% primary damage. I think it's better. Your primary becomes your bread and butter in PvE using this set so much.
Yeah, dude, that's massive though. That is massive.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Heck yeah.